What's up guys, Chris here today with a 4 Knights of the Apocalypse theory video. And I know it's been a long time since my last theory video for the 4 Knights of the Apocalypse. The last one was basically a prediction video on how the 7 deadly sins will die in the 4 Knights of the Apocalypse series. And while I still stand by that, let's talk about Lancelot. Now, first off, before I get into this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. It really does help. Also check out my Instagram and Twitter accounts for more updates on future videos. If YouTube does not give you the notifications, even if you do, click the bell icon. And don't forget to check out my Patreon and Ko-fi accounts if you want to support the channel more directly, as I do want to get more videos out of varying and increasing qualities as these types of videos go on. Now with all that said and done and out of the way, let's get into the actual video. Now, before I actually get started on the full theory, let me just say this. The last 4 Knights of the Apocalypse manga chapter reviews have each broken over 1,000 views, and I've just gotten better and better views over the course of Lancelot's reveal. And with the recent one of me recording this video, chapter 50, getting nearly 2,000 views in the course of a day. That's the best any of my videos has ever done. So I don't know if that has to do with just Lancelot's reveal and everybody coming on the hype train to see the Son of Bon in action, or if it also has something to do with the 4 Knights of the Apocalypse's manga releasing its first volume here in the US. But either way, I am so happy to see these videos do well that I just couldn't help but bring out this theory video a little bit earlier than I initially was thinking, specifically because chapters 49 and 50 basically made me want to make a video on Lancelot in general. And that is, what are Lancelot's true goals? Now we know that he was sent by the King of Leonis to go and search for the 4 Knights of the Apocalypse and lead them to Leonis to meet Meliodas, as well as helping them grow stronger and see if they had the strong will along with their comrades to face down anything that comes their way. That way it'll help prove that they are in fact the Knights of Legend, of Prophecy. But during his fight with Fittich in chapter 49, he asks Fittich 2 very important questions that he does not tell the reasons for to the rest of the group, at least not yet. We'll probably find out within the next couple of chapters, somewhere down the road. And those are A, he is looking for a knight with a star-shaped visor. And apparently, Fittich didn't really know him. Well, he knows him, but he isn't really acquainted with him. And second, he is looking for Dubs, the giant master craftsman. Now I'll go over this in a bit of reverse order because I think the first one is the most important and will probably take up a good chunk of the video. I'll talk to you about the second question that he asked Fittich, which was the location of Dubs. Now for those of you who don't know or don't remember, Dubs is the master craftsman from the Giant Clan, and he is responsible for creating not only Meliodas' lost vein and a lot of other sacred treasures, but he is also the one that essentially created the Coffin of Eternal Darkness that was used to seal the Demon Clan over 3,000 years ago during the initial Holy War. And he had made a big return in the Cursed by Light movie of the 7 Deadly Sins. Granted, he did not do much. He was just a, red herring antagonist for Meliodas and Zeldris to face, as well as causing problems and showing just how strong his weapons can in fact be, to a certain extent, for the big reveal of who the actual villain was for that movie. But the thing is, at the end of that movie, and yes, the movie is canon, Dubs is supposed to be around, along with the second Fairy King. He is alive, and it's been 16 years since the end of the Holy War and the end of that movie. So where can Dubs be now? Now the reason for Lancelot going to find Dubs was actually brought up by a couple of subscribers of mine, and it's honestly a really good idea, is to find Dubs and to use him to create weapons or perhaps a countermeasure to the Coffin of Eternal Darkness, now that they know Arthur and his knights are looking for the pieces, and they basically have all the pieces they need, save for Percival's dragon handle that has been made into his personal sword thanks to Hauser. Now we don't know what exactly Arthur's true goal is. That is a theory video in and of itself, but I think we can all guess what his true goal is when he wants to eradicate all the other races. But for now, Dubs could probably be used to create a countermeasure for the Coffin of Eternal Darkness, whether it be a particular weapon or artifact that can cancel out the Coffin's abilities, or weapons that could destroy the pieces, making it completely unusable once the pieces are ineligible to be used. And only he can actually repair it if need be. Now that's kind of what would go for dubs. It could also be the fact that they want to create powerful weapons to fight against the power of chaos in order to give to the four Knights of the Apocalypse to help boost their strengths. Which makes a hell of a lot of sense. It could be their sacred treasures and made specifically for their basically strong potential and ability to rival chaos and defeat King Arthur like it is prophesized. But that's all I got for why Lancelot is looking for dubs. Now on to the first thing that he asked Fittich, the location of a star visor wearing Holy Knight. Now this seems to be more of a personal goal instead of something that potentially Meliodas asked him to look into, as we do kind of have an idea and guess what this could be, as for him to look for a knight in particular. Now then, while Lancelot, when Percival asked about his means, the star-shaped visor and who Dubs is, Lancelot said that he wasn't interested in telling or doesn't feel like answering that question right now. Now, Dubs is kind of an easy thing to look forward to, but the fact that he was looking for a specific Holy Knight in Arthur's ranks could pertain to a few things and a few theories and possibilities. And this is something that was brought up by some subscribers again that I want to mention from my previous videos, is that perhaps this star-shaped visored knight did something to his home kingdom of Benwick while he was away. Now once again, going back into the Lancelot one-shot, we saw at the very end that Lancelot and Jericho were taken away and transported to an entirely different area through a type of distortion, leaving Bon and Elaine to believe that their son had gone missing or feared that he was dead. And at the very end of that one-shot, we got a narration saying that Lancelot returned about 8 to 10 years later and is basically being stated to be the Prince of the Lake, giving us the idea that he was trained all those years by the Lady of the Lake and given a lot of different types of knowledge to help him in his journey. And when he returned home after all these years, perhaps something happened to his kingdom of Benwick, to his parents. What could that be? Well, it could either be that it is in ruins and Arthur's knights basically decimated, killing a multitude of the people there, and maybe even gravely injuring his mother Elaine, possibly even killing her or even Bon. Now, Bon is the strongest human alive. Because of what happened in the Seven Sins, his training in Purgatory, and him giving up his immortality, Bon could stand toe-to-toe and withstand the powers of literal deities. So I doubt, even against the powers of chaos that Arthur has at his disposal that he had given to his knights, I doubt Bon is dead. Perhaps Bon himself was captured by Arthur and is being held captive or experimented on by Merlin, but then again, it doesn't seem like Arthur in this series is a demented villain. He seems to be rather sane, all things considered. So it's possible that Bon and Elaine are gravely injured and they lost their kingdom. And Lancelot wants to find this visored knight, as he, in fact, was most likely the one, or he was told that he was the one that did all this damage and led this whole attack and onslaught on his home kingdom, and so he wants revenge. I personally don't want it to be the fact that Elaine is dead. I'd rather they've been gravely injured, horribly injured, for a narrative way. I don't want to see Elaine hurt at all, or Bon, but it makes narrative sense to give Lancelot a personal vendetta against one of Arthur's knights, especially since he called this one out based off appearance, and he doesn't even know this knight's actual name. And Lancelot knows everything from what it seems, just based off of hearing their names. It's possible he heard this knight's name while reading the mind of Fittich during their fight, but it's very unclear. Lancelot has a personal vendetta against this star-visored knight, and that is one of the reasons why he took on this quest from Meliodas to find the Four Knights of the Apocalypse. If Arthur is sending a ton of his most skilled knights to take out the four knights, of which he himself is most likely one of them, then it makes complete and total sense that this star-visored knight could be one of them. And I have no doubt that perhaps in the next arc, or maybe even in this arc, we will have an attack by the Holy Knights of Camelot, and we will see the star-visored knight and Lancelot lose his cool for the very first time in pure anger and rage. and I would love to see that. Lancelot is a very interesting character in the fact that he has basically been in front of our eyes this entire time as a fox, and no one knows who he is. To the Star-Visored Knight, Lancelot could not even exist, as even Finnish stated that there were no rumors. And you could also believe the fact that Lancelot, the Prince of Benwick, had disappeared years ago, as Bond and Elaine had no idea where Lancelot had disappeared to. There's also the possibility that Jericho herself was killed or gravely injured as well. Perhaps she left and returned to Benwick before Lancelot, so Lancelot can complete his training, and so Jericho can tell Bond and Elaine what had happened to them over the years. But that's essentially my thoughts and opinions on what Lancelot's true goals and motives are. Not only is he going to find dubs to help create weapons for the Furnace of the Apocalypse, and perhaps a countermeasure to destroy or negate the Coffin of Eternal Darkness, which is most likely a quest by Meliodas, but his main goal is his vendetta and quest for revenge against this Star-Visored Knight who had done grave crimes and destroyed and harmed his kingdom and his people. Honestly, it just makes complete and total sense for that to be the case, unless this knight in particular has some other relevance to Lancelot that I can't at the moment think of. But for now, that's really all I can tell you on my personal thoughts on just these lines of dialogue from chapter 49. Now, chapter 50, we are in Leonis, so perhaps we'll get more from chapter 50 and 51, but that's all I really gotta say on this topic. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave down in the comments down below what you think are Lancelot's true motives. Why is he looking for the Star-Shaped Visored Knight? Why is he looking for dubs? What other secrets or personal goals is he thinking about? And what are his other goals besides what he just mentioned and his quest to find the Four Knights of the Apocalypse? Leave everything down below. Also mention what you thought of the recent chapters and of Four Knights of the Apocalypse in general, as well as what other types of theory videos you'd like me to do, or just discussion videos for the Four Knights of the Apocalypse you'd like to see me to do. I do have one more plan to do within the next few weeks for the Four Knights of the Apocalypse, but I'm not going to tell you what that is. It's going to be a surprise. But I do want to make more Four Knights content outside of the chapter reviews. So look forward to that, as the Four Knights is kind of my best series on this channel right now, and I really want to ride that high just until it dies down. But I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. Really does help. Check out my Instagram and Twitter accounts if you want to be posted on what else I say, what else I will update you guys on with new videos and such. And with all that said and done, I hope you all have an awesome day.